Hi, welcome back to the channel. In the previous lecture, we discussed about the statistical definition of temperature. We arrived at this definition of temperature where we say that this particular expression gives us the maximization of the microstates for a particular system with energy E. So let's continue our discussion, and in today's lecture we will be discussing about some of the ensembles, StatMech ensembles. So to recall, we discussed about gamma, that is the phase points. In short, gamma is just the collection of all the possible states that a system can take. For example, if you have q generalized coordinates and p generalized momenta, then each of the points in this particular plot is a phase point, right? Remember that this is a 6n dimensional space. For the sake of representing in 2D, we are doing it using a 2D plot, right? Okay. So let's move forward. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to define something called rho of gamma. This is the probability density function. The probability density for any particular state gamma. So this defines the number of times or number of points that a particular gamma has in the system, of particular phase point is visited by the system. So this is rho gamma is the probability that the system visits gamma state any number of times, right? And this rho gamma, d gamma, will be the probability that the system will be in the neighborhood of gamma, d gamma, right? Okay, with having defined these variables, these not variables, these functions, let's move forward. In the previous lecture, we saw something about ergodic systems. And I mentioned that a system is ergodic when it visits all the phase points and spends equal time in all the phase points. So what it means is when a system is in equilibrium, it is when a system is said to be in equilibrium when it has visited all the phase points. So it should have visited all phase points. Right. So it happens that all systems are not ergodic. Some systems are non-ergodic. For example, if you take protein folding, what happens is the free energy landscape might look something like this. So when the protein actually folds, free energy with let's say radius of gyration. So when the protein folds, it might get stuck in this local minima, and it would never be able to jump out of that minima to reach this global minima, right? So some such systems are called non-ergodic systems, where they are not able to visit all the phase points. Okay, so and another example of such system is crystallization. When you slowly crystallize a material, it seldom happens that the crystal never reaches its ground state. There are some deformities or some irregularities in the crystal structure. So these are some examples of non-ergodic systems. For a system to be in equilibrium, we say that the probability density function should not be a function of time. So this just states that at equilibrium there may be, the system is still evolving dynamically. I mean, it is a dynamic system. The phase points are, changing with time. But the definition is the probability density itself doesn't change with time. That's the definition of a system being in equilibrium. Right? And now let's talk about averages. So if you want to measure a particular property of a system, let's say we want to measure some property A. So we can do it uh, two ways. We can either take a time average, or we can take an ensemble average. So what it means by taking time averages, we measure the property A over time and we take the average out of it. So it is something like this. Okay, this is what is this is how the time average is defined. Now let's say how ensemble average is defined. An ensemble average is average of all uh, the average of all uh, the property in all the phase points. So this is like taking the average of A, any property A, over all the phase points of the system. So in continuous on integrals, it goes something like this. Okay, so for an ergodic system, both these averages should be equal. If you measure a particular value with respect to time or with respect to the ensemble, I mean, if you take ensemble average or the time average, both should be equal. This is a proper definition of an ergodic system. So now let's come back to the ensembles that we were talking about. First, let's take the example of microcanonical ensemble. So this particular ensemble is defined by a system which doesn't exchange energy or matter from surroundings. Right, and we have already seen that for such a system the probability of a system being found in any energy is equally likely, and it is given by this function where this is the number of microstates. We already went through such a system. Okay, and for such ensembles there is something called a partition function, which is the summation of all the possible number of microstates. So this is very similar to the omega e for the system. Remember that we saw this as the Hamiltonian of the system, which is equal to the kinetic energy plus the potential energy. Right, for a continuous system, this partition function for a microcanonical ensemble is given by right? So if you're wondering what this delta function means, so this means that this function will have a value of 1 if this Hamiltonian is equal to E. I mean, this function is defined like this: if is equal to 1 if x equals to y, or is equal to 0 if x not equals to y. So the probability density for a microcanonical ensemble, the probability distribution, it goes like this: versus energy. If we plot the probability distribution, it will be like this. It will be huge peak. So this is how the distribution will look like, and this delta function. Okay, so moving forward, so in the microcanonical ensemble, the entropy is defined like this: or this Q, this partition function, is basically all the microstates for a particular E of the system. Right? We already know that in the previous lecture we saw that the temperature is defined something like this. So let's try to establish a relationship between the entropy and temperature. Let's take the derivative of this equation with respect to the total energy. So this we already know, it's 1 by kBT, right? So once we plug in that, we get this is the relationship between the entropy of the system and the temperature. So the microcanonical ensemble can be envisioned as a plot the two-dimensional space where you have coordinates and momenta. So this ensemble can be visioned as a closed curve, where each of these curve represents a constant energy. This can be E1, this can be E2, this can be E3. So each of these curves are represented by a constant energy of the system, and the probability of finding the system at this particular point, or say this particular point, or this particular point, or this particular point, is given by this equation that we saw earlier, right? Because each of the points are equally probable for a microcanonical ensemble. So we see that each microstate is equally likely to occur at equilibrium, Or we can rephrase this sentence and say that at equilibrium the system will be found at the state which corresponds to the maximum number of microstates, right? So there are some basic thermodynamic relations that we can derive out of the system. For example, we have already seen that is equal to 1 by T. Similar to this, we can write this, we have already seen. The pressure of the system is defined like this. Constant N and E, and the chemical potential is given by okay. So now that we have wrapped up the microcanonical ensemble, let's move forward and discuss the canonical ensemble. This is of more practical interest because this ensemble is defined by a constant number of particles, a constant density, and a constant temperature. So in this ensemble, there is exchange of energy, but no exchange of matter. So let's consider a large reservoir. Let's say the energy of the reservoir is E prime, and let's consider a very small system whose energy is epsilon. So this is a very large reservoir, and the number of particles in the reservoir are much greater than the number of particles in the system. So we have E dash plus epsilon is equal to our E total, right? So if we want to define the probability of finding a system at this probability of finding the system at any energy E, how should we define it? So the probability of finding the system at E is the number of microstates of the total system wait, let me rephrase that. So the probability of finding the system at epsilon E, that energy epsilon, is the number of microstate of the total system such that the energy of the smaller system is epsilon divided by total number of microstates, that is omega t et, right? So if you consider the whole system, this whole system is like a microcanonical ensemble, right? It cannot exchange energy between the surroundings, but the reservoir is able to exchange energy between the system with the system, right? So this P of E epsilon becomes omega dash E dash So this goes without saying that we have used the assumption that E dash is much bigger than epsilon here. So now what we can do is, since these are huge numbers, we can, the first thing that we can do is take the logarithm. So this becomes E total minus epsilon minus ln omega t E total. Right, now what we can do is we can take this Taylor series expansion of this term. Since the epsilon is very small value, we can take the Taylor series expansion of this term around E total. So this becomes this term. Right, so we know that this term is actually 1 by kBt, and this term is a constant, this term is a constant, so the whole thing can be written as some constant minus epsilon by kBt. So if we want to remove the logarithm, we can say that the probability of finding such a system at energy E is proportional to the exponential of kBt. Right, so this is how a canonical ensemble is defined. So the partition function for a canonical ensemble is given by so this is how the partition function is defined. Now remember that the Hamiltonian is defined as kinetic energy as a function of the momenta plus the potential energy as a function of the coordinates. So this is not true for all the cases, but for most of the cases we can write something like this. This just to simplify the partition function. So remember that kinetic energy can be written as p square by 2m, right, where p is the moment of the particle and m is the mass of the particle. So this is very similar to writing half mv square. So remember that each particle has three coordinates and we have n number of particles. So this summation has to be done over n and over all the three coordinates. Right, so here we'll use this formula. So using this formula here, we get right. So if we divide this equation by v raised to power n, divide and multiply, so this actually becomes the partition function of a monoatomic ideal gas. So the derivation of that equation or that relationship is out of the scope of the course. So we'll skip it. We'll just assume that we already know this. So this partition function can actually be written as like this. So we can write it like this. So this ideal part comes from the monoatomic ideal gas part, and then the potential energy function contributes to the excess partition function. Right, so Q so for this particular ensemble, the potential thermodynamic potential is the Helmholtz free energy, which is given by minus Ts. So from StatMech we can see that this is the relationship between the partition function and the potential for this particular ensemble. So we see that for a system which is exchanging energy with a reservoir, we see that each microstate is not equally probable. In fact, the microstates with lower energy are more probable. So this is actually given by this distribution. So if you compare the distribution between a canonical and a microcanonical ensemble, so in a microcanonical ensemble we saw that the distribution is a peak, it's a sharp peak. But for a canonical ensemble, it's an exponential distribution. So lower systems with lower energy, for example, consider this. Systems with lower energy have more probability of occurring than system with higher energy. Right? The next ensemble that we'll see is the isothermal isobaric. The NPT ensemble. So this particular ensemble is of interest to engineers because we seldom do experiments and constant temperature, constant pressure conditions, right? So the partition function for this ensemble is given by so this is the partition function for this particular ensemble. We see that for this ensemble the partition function is also dependent on the volume. So this actually says that the sampling of the phase space will also include the fluctuations in volume, that is the system size, and that will also contribute to the partition function. So for this particular ensemble, the thermodynamic potential is the Gibbs potential, Gibbs free energy, which is defined like this. And the probability distribution for this particular ensemble is so. That's it for today. Let's meet for the next lecture. Stay tuned to this channel for further updates. Thank you.